Good morning, baseball. It is your boy NMR Sports here, coming back at you with my buddy Frank with another episode of your favorite morning baseball show, where we talk all about the events that happened last night around the sport. A lot of crazy games last night, concluding with the man that we see on my shirt here, Shohei Ohtani, having a great performance in a game we'll talk about a little bit later on. But Frank, how was your day yesterday, man? How the heck are you?
Yeah, man, it was good. It was better until, the Angel game. But I was watching that, kind of spent a few hours doing so, and
I'm
but
sorry.
it was a good day. Yeah, no, it's
Ain't
okay.
that the truth? I feel you, man. Anyways, a lot of stuff to talk about, man. I got a whole list of things, but we'll start as we do every morning as of yesterday, with our daily MLB recap of our games around the league. Starting off with the Dodgers, who were facing off against the Cincinnati Reds in the most hitter-friendly ballpark on planet Earth. Dodgers put up 8 runs, the most they've put up without their star Mookie Betts in the lineup. Freddie Freeman had 5 RBIs in that one. The Marlins went on to beat the Rockies 9-8. Avisail Garcia with a multi-hit game in that one. The Nationals beat the Orioles 3-0, and the Pirates, with their second massacre, I should say, of the Chicago Cubs with a 7-1 victory. O'Neal Cruz, another base hit in that one. Good for him. The Boston Red Sox had a 5-4 victory over the Tigers. Javi Baez did hit a home run in this one, though, so good to see Javi Baez, El Mago, getting a little bit of his power stroke back. Outside of that, we had the Rays over the Yankees, a 5-4 victory, so the Yankees are human. They are capable of losing some games. We had a battle of the bats over in Atlanta, the San Francisco Giants with a 12-10 victory over the Braves. Cleveland Guardians claiming first place over the Twins with a 6-5 victory in Minnesota. The Philadelphia Phillies got their, for lack of a better word, asses handed to them by the Texas Rangers, 7-0 there. The New York Mets lose to the reigning AL champion Houston Astros 8-2. The Chicago White Sox won 7-6, their second win in a row against the Toronto Blue Jays. The St. Louis Cardinals with a 6-2 victory over the Milwaukee Brewers. Angels and Royals, I really don't want to talk about this one, but 12-11 victory for the Kansas City Royals in this one, a battle of the terrible bullpens, and obviously the Royals bullpen was slightly less terrible in that one. The Padres walked it off against the Diamondbacks, and then the Seattle Mariners, 8-2 victory over possibly the worst team in baseball, the Oakland A's. So with that being said, man, a lot of games. Full slate of games yesterday. A lot of walk-offs, too. Pretty interesting slate. But I do want to kick it off with some news that came out before the games even started yesterday. I promise I'll shut up in a second and let you talk. But that is the MLB All-Star Ballot. We had our first update for the vote getters. As we know, the fan vote, one of the worst things that baseball has to offer. Fans can decide whoever they want to vote for the All-Star game. And I don't know. Some of these picks should be punishable in some way, shape, or form. I don't know if we're talking jail time or a fine, but man, something's got to go down. I just got a question for you, Frank. I don't know if you have the list pulled up in front of you or not, but give me a couple of the guys who are getting absolutely screwed right now. You know, we know a bunch of guys who are in first place, but talk about the guys who aren't winning that should be winning, in your opinion.
Well, yeah, absolutely. There's definitely a few guys here that deserve to be in higher spots here. We got Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with 947,000 votes. And Ty France, second place, first baseman for the AL, 596,000, where I definitely think Ty France deserves to be up there. We've got Tim Anderson below Bo Bichette by not as wide of a margin, but Bo Bichette is leading shortstops in the American League, which I think we can all kind of see as a little ridiculous.
Oh, it's just comical.
Yeah, so that's just to name a few. What are you noticing here?
The one that I am most passionate about, that a deep passion that burns within my soul, is if you vote for Rafael Devers, I'm going to talk directly to the camera for this one. If you vote for Rafael Devers over Jose Ramirez, you do not know ball. You don't know what baseball is. You shouldn't be allowed to watch baseball. You shouldn't be allowed to vote for the All-Star game. It should be like a DUI checkpoint test. They should say, "Sir, can you step out of the vehicle for me?" shine a light in your eyes. Like, let me just pull out a flashlight here. Sir, who's the best third baseman in the American League? And if they say Rafael Devers, you're going to jail. You're getting thrown in the drunk tank that night. Jose Ramirez is literally better in every single stat except for batting average, which I argue doesn't really matter that much. It's just a luck-based statistic when it comes to two guys who are good at hitting the baseball. And somehow WAR. I don't know where this WAR is coming from because J-Ram has played more games. He has more RBIs. The only thing he doesn't have is the runs scored. Maybe that's what it is because nobody on this Cleveland team can knock him in. He's the only guy knocking in runs on this Cleveland Guardians team. But, and this is no disrespect to Rafael Devers. He's a great ball player, but man, Jose Ramirez is getting absolutely railed on this All-Star ballot. I understand it's a close race right now, but it should not be. Jose Ramirez should be the clear favorite, in my opinion. I understand the Red Sox are more popular, but...
Yeah, and I mean, this ultimately just begs the question, like you said, is this, I mean, it's a great way to get the fans involved. I understand the appeal, but, I think it would be much more effective to just select the players that deserve those spots because it sucks to see this,
Yeah, I mean, imagine you're Ty France right now, and at this point, I don't think it's possible to close that gap.
No,
like we're talking about a nearly an over 400,000 vote gap. That is not something that closes overnight. And you're Ty France, you're like, what more do you want me to do? What more do you expect from me in this position right now? What more can I do? Just be Vladimir Guerrero.
Be the son of a Hall of Famer, right? Like,
yeah, I guess so. And I did see an interesting take on Twitter. I came from my boy EJ on Twitter. I can't remember his ad at the moment, but he was saying that it was a little bit of a hot take, but he wants to see the most exciting players in baseball. He wants to see the superstars and all that. So he basically was saying he doesn't really care at who is having the best year. He doesn't want to have boring Ty France hitting a little slappy dappy into right field. For a base hit. He'd rather have, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hitting 500-foot nukes. So I get where he's coming from on that. I personally disagree. I think it should be whoever's having the best season, just how, Jared Walsh made the team last year. I do think as far as the starters go, I get where he's coming from, but when you get guys like Bo Bichette, that is egregious. That is egregious. He shouldn't even make the All-Star team, let alone be a starter. So
absolutely.
Yeah, what do you think about that, though?
Well, I mean, I think with someone I think Vlad Jr. is an example of someone that is both a great player and has that entertainment value that, that person was arguing for. But, ultimately, man, like, I think baseball is, you are an all-star to me if you are a well-rounded player and you produce for your team and you're valuable. And I think there are guys here that are getting, screwed over for players that just from sheer entertainment and popularity are kind of taking the bag. And there's obviously the debate about, because there's so many Blue Jays in the top three of basically every position because Canada and people, they're the only team. So all the Canadians are voting away. So it is what it is. I guess that's just how it works, but it is kind of upsetting to see Bo Bichette especially up there. So,
oh yeah,
I agree.
It's egregious. I will say the National League's not as bad in my opinion. Honestly, there's not a single one that I'm like shocked about in the National League, but the entire American League, man, it's so bad. Oh my God, it's so bad. Anyways, speaking of the Blue Jays, they had a pretty interesting game over there in the Windy City over in Chicago as they call it. That's how Chicagoans sound. Anyways, 7-6 victory for the White Sox is the short version, but took a while to get there, man. Took a while to get there. The White Sox tied it up in the 9th inning off of closer Jordan Romano, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Jordan Romano blew his 3rd save of the season. 1 inning pitched, allowed 2 earned runs. And then we have the Rob Manfred baseball ghost runner on second rule. Tied it in the 10th. Both teams tied it in the 10th. Both teams tied it in the 11th. And then finally, the White Sox were able to walk it off in the 12th inning. Now, honestly, tell me if this is a hot take, but I feel like the Blue Jays and the White Sox are very similar teams. Like, I understand the White Sox feel like they've been playing a lot worse baseball. they're not separated by that many games. I mean, the Blue Jays have 5 more wins and 3 less losses. It's really not that far of a gap, and the Blue Jays have arguably had a disappointing season. I mean, this is a team everyone expected to absolutely run the AL East, and they are not even close to sniffing first place. I can't even remember the last time they were playing for first place. So, obviously, I think the White Sox have the more disappointing season, but I guess what I'm asking you, Frank, I know I'm kind of beating around the bush here, but which one of these teams do you think will end up having the more disappointing season? Basing your answer off of where their expectations were coming into the year.
I think coming into the year, Blue Jays, at least at this current point, are having the more disappointing season because, like you said, everyone expected them to be, probably take the East, potentially be really up there in the postseason. So, I mean, that could still definitely happen. But I definitely agree with you in the sense that they are very similar teams, just in the sheer expectations that have not been met. And on top of that, their records are pretty similar as well. So yeah, I could definitely see a good argument being made there for them being kind of a similar on the end of not meeting those expectations, but more so on the Blue Jays end, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's weird to say that because of how much better the Blue Jays have been, statistically and everything. But realistic, I mean, it definitely helps that the White Sox have an easier schedule too. But in the grand scope of things, nobody expected the White Sox to be, running to the World Series. But similar paths in different levels. Blue Jays expectation was World Series. They're a little bit worse than that. White Sox expectation was division win. They're a little bit worse than that. So.
And if the World Series is ever based on All-Star votes, then everyone was right, man.
Yeah,
so
then the Blue Jays
got that.
Blue Jays take the cake any day of the week there. Sticking in the AL Central, I do got to bring up, man. I typed Guardians in my notes here. Just thought that was kind of funny, but the Cleveland Guardians, man, first place in the AL Central. What do you think, man? I'm just gonna leave this one to you. Does the Central run through Cleveland right now? I mean, technically it does, but do you think they're the team to beat at this moment?
I mean, they're playing really well right now. I mean, we talked a few days ago about how they've taken multiple series in a row now, and have been winning those series, playing really well. I think they're tied with Minnesota at this point, but the fact that they're even up there at this moment is pretty impressive, and seeing as the White Sox have fallen back and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, we'll just have to see. I think the next couple of weeks will give us a better indication because I really want to see if they can widen that gap or if they kind of fall back behind. But yeah, man. Usually the AL Central for me is kind of a lackluster, not as paid attention to division, but I am finding myself kind of more interested and might be watching their games pretty consistently the next couple of weeks just to see where they're going.
You want to know another word for Central?
Sure.
Mid. That division is mid.
AL mid. AL mid.
AL mid. That's what we're gonna start calling it, man.
Yeah,
none of those teams are exciting, man. I'll be honest, but I will say, man, very pleasantly surprised with what the Guardians are doing over there. I think it'd be very fun to see them in the postseason. I think whichever team comes out of this division, though, is going to get their asses smacked by whoever comes out of the East. So we'll have to see, or the Astros, That's the one caveat there. Nobody else is scary, but the entire AL East, I feel like, is just going to run the postseason at this point.
Totally.
All right. Well, we knew this was going to happen, so we set aside the entirety of the rest of the the rest of Good Morning Baseball. I'm a little tired right now, but as soon as you mention my favorite team, the however painful it is to say it out loud, my favorite team, the Los Angeles Angels, man. Just what a game. Let's just start off with this. First inning, Bobby Witt Jr. with a solo home run. I also tweeted out, I for one would recommend not giving up home runs in the first inning, but that's just me. Let's just go over some of the performances, man. Bobby Witt Jr., 3 for 5 with 2 home runs and 4 RBIs. Whit Merrifield, 2 hits, 2 RBIs, a run scored. Carlos Santana, 4 for 5 with 2 runs scored and 5 RBIs. Carlos Santana, 65-year-old Carlos Santana, can barely make it to first base. Carlos Santana. the guy who had 4 hits last night, 5 RBIs. Then over on the Angels side, Shohei Ohtani and Jared Walsh. That's literally it. There were no other noteworthy performance. It wasn't like, it was literally like, look at this. Taylor Ward, 1 for 4, 2 runs scored, 2 walks. I'll give it to him. He got on base a little bit. Mike Trout with 2 walks as well. Shohei Ohtani, 3 for 4, 2 runs scored, 8 RBIs, career high for him. We lost this game, by the way. Jared Walsh, 3 for 6, a single away from the cycle, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Everybody else, Rengifo, 0 for 5. Stassi, 1 for 5 with an RBI. Duffy, 1 for 4. Marsh 0 for 2, then Lagares pinch hit for him and went 0 for 3, so 0 for 5 combined there. Velasquez 0 for 2 was pinch hit for, drew a walk, so what was that, 0 for 4? Or no, sorry, Wade did have an RBI, or a base hit, sorry, so 1 for 4 out of that spot with 3 runs scored, but...
Can you guess what the base hit was for Tyler Wade? Just take a guess.
I'm gonna guess a weak bunt to the left-hand side, to the left field line.
He do be fast though, as the kids say.
He do be fast though. Did you see? I just gotta. Did you see the play? I think it was a single to right field, and somebody tried to stretch it into a double. It was right center. Trout throws it in. The ball bounces right in front of Tyler Wade's face, right in front of him, like a one hopper with like a 50-mile-per-hour, ball coming at him. Right in front of him, he literally just whiffs. The ball just, just no hand-eye coordination whatsoever. It was mind-blowing.
One time, Nolan and I coached a Little League team together, and Tyler Wade, I don't think would make that team, honestly.
I don't think so,
we
man.
would, yeah, we would.
We'd have him on the bench, ready to pinch run, maybe, but...
Yeah.
But the thing about Tyler Wade is, I feel like he's fast. That's literally it. He can get a bunt down. I will say he can get a bunt down and he's fast, but terrible base runner, terrible at sliding, terrible at defense, can't even catch a baseball. Tyler Wade has no business on the team. Same thing with Juan Lagares.
Wade aside, yeah, the fact that the Walsh and Ohtani, so we scored 11 runs in this game. Mm-hmm. They single-handedly produced 10 of those runs.
No, 11 of them.
Ohtani had 11.
Oh, wait, no, sorry, 10
all
of them, my bad. 10 of them, my bad.
Okay. No, you're all good. But, it's crazy. And then you got Ohtani with 8 RBIs. That's a career high, correct?
Yep. 2 3-run homers.
2 3-run homers. The second of which, just for the fun of it, to bring it up, it doesn't really matter how far it goes. It's a home run. But he absolutely obliterates this ball. Everyone's hyped.
Stands at home
the entire
plate,
stadium's hyped.
Stares it down.
And for what? It's just like...
Yeah.
It's just, at this point, I was saying earlier, this is an individual sport at this point where we have a team made up of a few guys that just do their thing, and everyone in the crowd that doesn't know ball, that just goes to have a good time. They go, they see the entertainment, and they're like, "This is awesome! Like, go Halos! Woo! I live in LA! Woo!" And then, but anyone that knows ball knows that this is absolutely atrocious. Like, and it's embarrassing. It's an this is to lose 2 games to the Royals. I gotta say, like, on paper, man, we might not be the worst team in baseball, but it sure feels like that sometimes because it's just astounding how we find unique ways to lose. Yeah.
I mean, we talk about, I think this is talked about more in the NFL, but sometimes in the MLB, signature wins, where a team wins a game, they come back from like a 6-run deficit or, 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter in the NFL, a signature win that really encompasses a team. This feels like a signature loss. This, and then we had a very similar game against the Blue Jays. I think it was a 11-10 final that we lost. That's a signature loss right there. That is a signature loss. If Shohei Ohtani can hit 2 3-run homers, by the way, legendary performance, man. He just smoked both of those. 111 miles per hour on the first one, 114.5 miles per hour on the second one. And then he took greatest pimp job I've ever seen in Angels history. Just smacks it, kind of stands on home plate. Yeah, I just did that. That's cool. I'm better than Babe Ruth. And then walks to first base. And it's literally a signature loss. How do you see that happen and you can't score a run? And Raisel Iglesias went out for the 9th and shut it down. We had a runner on second with nobody out and a chance to walk it off. All we needed was two pop flies. Two pop flies wins that ball game. Albeit Andrew Benintendi made 2 really good catches in the 10th. But 2 pop flies. 2 pop flies to right field. That's all you need. Or a ground ball to the right side and a pop fly to center field. That's all you need. And they couldn't do it.
There's been some signature losses over the years that I recall, and one of which that like was a true dagger to the heart, aside from this one, was like when Weaver threw a no-hitter, but he walked some guys. It was a 1-0. We lost the game. He threw a no-hitter. So it's like it's like that. It's to see a career performance like that, or Ohtani hitting 2 absolute moonshots, 8 RBIs, 2 3-run homers, just incredible.
And what other team does this happen to? What other team? The Pirates couldn't do this.
Yeah,
like
I
give
would
up
be more surprised.
12 runs to the Kansas City Royals. It's not like we gave up 12 runs to the New York Yankees with their A starting lineup in. We gave up 12 runs to the Kansas City Royals.
If this was proportional, in fact, we would have given up 48 runs if we played the Yankees tonight or last night.
Most likely.
Yeah,
it wouldn't have gone to extras, I can tell you that much. Now I gotta look this up. When was the last time the Kansas City Royals put up double-digit runs?
I don't know, man. I just can't stress enough that what fuels this franchise is the people. Artie Moreno leans into this. He knows that this is what makes money, so he doesn't care enough to actually build a successful franchise. What he cares about is the audience that thinks baseball games are fun to go to. They have a great time. They're like, oh, yay, Ohtani. Wow, he's so cool. And he is. He's amazing. Mm-hmm. But this guy is not going to... I mean, I would not blame him, at least. Well, maybe we'll offer him crazy money. That's probably likely to happen. At least he might deny it. But I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't blame him for leaving this team, man. Like, it's crazy.
The last time the Royals scored double-digit runs... The only time the Royals have scored double-digit runs this year was in Colorado, notorious hitters park, against one of the worst pitching staffs in baseball. They scored 14 runs on May 13th. May 13th against the Rockies. That's the only other time they've put up double-digit runs. And it's not like, Angel Stadium's not a pitcher-friendly ballpark per se, but it's not a, insane hitters park like Coors Field is. There's no excuse to give up 12 runs to the Cincinnati Royals. There's no excuse. I don't care if it was a 17-inning game. There's no excuse to give up 12 runs to the Cincinnati Royals. And we are just so good at losing baseball games. Like, think about how many games we would have won in the last month if we put up 11 runs. Think about it. How many games would we have won if we put up 11 runs? That could have won us. That offensive performance could have won us, 15 of our last 20 games. But the one game it wouldn't have won us was tonight. Yeah,
it would win us several of the 14 games that we lost in a row. So it's just so frustrating, It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It is. I don't know what else to say about that, but
there is no other words, man.
Let me ask you a question here. Do you think, like, put it bluntly, like, anything's possible, man, but like at this point, like seeing the Angels and how just like deflating this particular series has been, like, is this you're done? Like, I feel like I'm kind of getting the feeling that we're getting to the point where
think about how we felt in the fifth inning of this game. How we felt in the fifth inning of this game is how I feel right now. And then tomorrow we'll go out and we'll win 15-0 with Shohei Ohtani on the mound. And we'll forget that this game even happened. It's a long season. The season's not over, but it sure feels that way, man. They find new and exciting ways to piss us off every single day, and they will continue to do that all year. Maybe they'll go on an absolute tear in September, get one game away from the playoffs, and then get swept by the Mariners or something. Because that feels like something that would be very on brand with this team.
Totally. It's definitely frustrating.
Any final thoughts for us, Frank?
Oh, man. No, man, I hope that the Halos can win tomorrow. I mean, there's no way in hell that I we'll be able to watch the next couple of games afterwards if we are swept by the Royals. So, Ohtani's on the mound. I really, really cannot imagine that happening. So I'm not even going to think about it. But
if
just,
the Angels get
hoping for
swept by
that.
the Royals,
Not happening.
we will ban them from Good Morning Baseball. I don't think the entire month of July, but what do you think? 1 week,
couple
2
weeks.
weeks? What do we think?
Good
2
couple
weeks?
weeks for sure. Yeah.
All right,
we gotta
if
force
the Angels
ourselves
get
not
swept
to.
by the Royals, we will not talk about them. We will not say a word about them. We can allude to them. That's the caveat. We can allude to the team in Southern California that's not the Padres or the Dodgers. But we cannot say the name Angels for 2 weeks.
Which means we can't even say Ohtani or Trout, because that's basically synonymous with the Angels, because they are the Angels, right? They are the team. So
put the team on their back, but yeah,
yep.
2 week ban if they lose tomorrow. You have to do it.
Sounds good.
You have to do
Bet.
it. All right, well, that is going to do it for us today here at Good Morning Baseball. As always, I have been NMR Sports. That has been Frank. Let us know down in the comments what you thought of yesterday's games. Was this one of the worst losses in Angels history? Was this our signature loss on the season in 2022? Let us know. Don't forget to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and tune in tomorrow for more daily MLB content. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I think that's all the things I had to plug. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Thanks again so much for watching.